Hello guys, today we are going to discuss about the chlorophyll and light harvesting complex of photosynthesis process. Chlorophyll and light harvesting complex, these two things are very much essential, need to be understood for understanding the photosynthesis process. Okay, so first we'll go for chlorophyll. So as we know that chlorophyll is the photoreceptor, right? That photoreceptor means which can receive the light, right? Which can receive the light. In my last video, we have discussed about the photosynthesis process. If you have not seen, you can go to my channel and you can see. And I will give you the link in the description. You can see from there also. So chlorophyll is the pigment which can absorb the light actually in the photosynthesis process. So where exactly chlorophyll located? If you take a leaf and if you cut the leaf in this direction, you can get mesophyll cell under the microscope. In mesophyll cell, if you look into the mesophyll cell, you will get chloroplast. Okay. Now chloroplast. Chloroplast is the plastid. Everyone knows about the plastid, right? That plastid is the cell organelles, which is it's a pigment which contains the pigments like photoreceptors uh, and other plastids like etioplast. Uh, so this is the chloroplast which is used for photosynthesis, which actually carry the uh, photopigment that is chlorophyll. So in chloroplast, you can see like thylakoid, thylakoid and stack of thylakoid like chloroplast. If you cut the chloroplast, you will see these structures. Thylakoid, stack of thylakoid that is called as a granum and lamellae of granum. We will see in the next slide all these three things. In the lamellae of granum, you can see the chlorophyll. So mesophyll cell is present in in leaf, and in the mesophyll cell you have chloroplast. In the chloroplast you have chlorophyll, or you can say in another direction like mesophyll cell, chloroplast. Then you have thylakoid, stack of thylakoid called granum, and in the granum you have lamellae of granum. There your chlorophyll is located. Okay, so uh, this is your cross section of leaf. Okay, this is your upper epidermis of the leaf, and this is the lower epidermis of the leaf. We have discussed this thing a little bit in our previous lecture. So this is epidermis where it don't have any chloroplast or any photopigment or any photoreceptor which can catch the light. Actually, the photoreceptors are present in the mesophyll. These are the mesophyll. These are the mesophyll, which are the hanging from there. These are the mesophyll cells. This is spongy mesophyll cell, and this is palisade mesophyll cell. Like palisade mesophyll and spongy mesophyll cell, we have discussed in previous lecture. You can go and you can watch that. So now, this is our spongy mesophyll cell, or you can say any mesophyll cell. If you see if this mesophyll cell, if you can zoom it, inside the mesophyll cell, we have chloroplast. This green pigment, we have chloroplast. Okay. This chloroplast, if you take the chloroplast, if you can cut this, the structure of chloroplast is look like this. It consists of intermembrane space. Okay, this is your inner membrane. This is outer membrane, and between inner membrane and outer membrane, there is a space that is called as the inner membrane space. Okay, inside the chloroplast, we have these small stack plates, like these plates you can see here. These small plates are called as a thylakoid. Okay, between two thylakoid, there is a space that is called as thylakoid space. Okay, these are the thylakoid. These are the thylakoid. Now, this stack of thylakoids, together called as a granum. Okay, and see, there is a lot of granums. These are all those granum together called as a granum. This is actually plural form, and granum is the singular form. And this is the stroma. This is called as stroma gland. Okay. So now, see, this is a picture of the one granum. See, this is one thylakoid. This is one thylakoid. Okay. Thylakoid is also have a membrane. See, this is the membrane, thylakoid membrane. Okay. And between two thylakoid there is a space that is called as a thylakoid space. And this is thylakoid lumen. Okay. And between two granum there is a connection. This is called as a lamellae. Okay, here actually in this membrane, these places, here actually our chlorophyll present. Okay, so now we'll see the types of chlorophyll. See, chlorophyll, uh, we have chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C, and chlorophyll D. Chlorophyll A, B, C, D. And we have different types of chlorophyll as well, like bacteriochlorophyll. Okay, so we'll discuss this bacteriochlorophyll later, like in some other videos. We will not divide from our main topic. So chlorophyll, plant chlorophyll, we have chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C, and chlorophyll D. Chlorophyll A and B will discuss after a few minutes. Now see chlorophyll C and chlorophyll D. Okay, one more thing. The structure is actually similar of chlorophyll A, B, C. Actually, they are there is a little difference. They are like some groups or some rings or some bond. Okay, that is there. They have the difference in that things. If you see the chlorophyll A structure, you can understand. So that is the difference in chlorophyll C and chlorophyll D, chlorophyll A, B, and chlorophyll A. Okay, chemical structures is just little bit different. So chlorophyll C, you can see in chlorophyll C diatoms, dinoflagellates, brown algae, and they contribute 20% oxygen on the earth, and they doesn't have phytol tail. I will tell about the phytol tail. What is it? And chlorophyll D, they absorb far red light, that is 700 nanometer. Okay, like absorbance of light. You can like I have already told in my previous lecture at the first beginning slide. Like link is in the description. You can go and you can watch in the first slide that what is the why absorbance in 700 nanometer, why it is in 680 nanometer, or what is the spectrum for photosynthesis. You can get the idea there. Okay. So chlorophyll D absorbs 700 nanometer and it is present in cyanobacteria and some higher plants. Okay. So chlorophyll, we have chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C, and chlorophyll D. Now we'll see about the structure of chlorophyll. So this is the structure of chlorophyll. Okay. So see, you can see this should be elongated. Okay. This R, you can see these are actually the phytol tail. What we have seen in this here, phytol tail. Okay. This is the phytol tail. This is a hydrocarbon chain. Okay, this is the hydrocarbon chain, and it is like hydrophobic in nature, and it will be like this carbon chain will be there, hydrophobic. Okay, so this is known as phytol tail. It is will be elongated like this. Okay, so this is the phytol tail, and this is the known as porphyrin head. This is porphyrin head. This is phytol tail. So chlorophyll structure is divided into two parts. Okay, remember, chlorophyll structure is divided into two parts. One is phytal tail, another is chlorophyll head. Chlorophyll head, we have magnesium ion. Okay, so okay, first you see in chlorophyll head we have four chiral rings. One, two, three, and four. We have four chiral rings in the chlorophyll porphyrin head. These porphyrin head are connected like they have one nitrogen group, nitrogen atom, sorry, one nitrogen atom, and in the center of porphyrin head we have magnesium. We have magnesium ion which is connected with the four nitrogen in the four nitrogen, and by this four nitrogen magnesium is connected with the porphyrin ring. This magnesium ion actually helps to absorb the light, and it is only stabilize the structure. Now see, this is the overview of a chlorophyll structure. It is similar to all the chlorophyll. Now there is a difference like chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. We are focusing in chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Okay. So now in chlorophyll A we have CH3 group. Okay, methyl group at the third carbon of the second chiral ring. This is the third carbon of the second chiral ring. We have methyl group, and in chlorophyll B the difference is that only the aldehyde group. In place of CH3, we have aldehyde group. So that is known as a chlorophyll B. So chlorophyll A has CH3 group, chlorophyll B has aldehyde group. Okay. Now there is a little difference between chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Its molecular weight is 893 Dalton. It's 907 Dalton. It is absorbed for 35 nanometer to 660 nanometer light, and it's absorbed for 35 to 640 nanometer. Absorbance of spectrum, like you can see in my last video. It says soluble in ether, like it can soluble in ether, and it's soluble in methyl alcohol. It can work independently, like independently it can do photosynthesis process. It means this. And it absorbs light and transfer the energy to chlorophyll A. It means that chlorophyll B can't do photosynthesis alone without chlorophyll A. Its work is to absorb the light and to transfer the energy to chlorophyll A, and then chlorophyll A will do the process. Chlorophyll A is known as universal pigment. Why? Because it's present in every photosynthetic plant. Sorry, photosynthetic it's every plant species. And chlorophyll B is present in many plants except Cyanophyceae and Rhodophyceae. Okay, this is the difference between chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. So we have completed about chlorophyll. Now we are going for light harvesting complex. Okay, so light harvesting complex, what does it mean? Like we have seen the chlorophyll structure, that chlorophyll is absorbing the light, right? So light harvesting complex is mean that how they are absorbing the light and how they are passing the energy from one group to another, or one molecule to another molecule. Okay, how the light actually transferring and how the light is helping to do the photosynthesis, that we will see in light harvesting complex. See, this is the light. Okay. This is the light. Light is coming down. So light harvesting complex has two parts: reaction center and antenna pigment. Okay. Light harvesting has two parts: reaction center and antenna pigment. First, we will see about antenna pigment. Antenna pigments are nothing but it's consist of chlorophyll B. Actually, it's consist of chlorophyll B. Okay, it's actually consist of chlorophyll B, and sometimes somewhere chlorophyll A is also present, but mainly chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll A, if it is not present also, it doesn't matter. So chlorophyll B and carotenoids and xanthophyll, these are also photoreceptor that is present in antenna pigment. About carotenoids and xanthophyll, I will upload one more video about the photoreceptor. There we'll see about carotenoids and xanthophyll. So antenna pigment consists of chlorophyll B or chlorophyll A, carotenoids and xanthophyll. What they do actually, they absorb the light. They do absorb the light. Okay, they will absorb the light and they will transfer the light from one antenna pigment, from one to another one. They are transferring the light. They are transferring the light. Okay, this yellow color is nothing but the carotenoids and xanthophyll. Okay, and these are the our chlorophyll B or chlorophyll A. Okay, so this is the function of antenna pigment, which like they absorb the light and they will receive the light and they will transfer from one pigment to another pigment in order to carry the photosynthetic process in the reaction center. Okay, so carotenoid, xanthophylls and chlorophyll B or chlorophyll A, they will catch the light and they will transfer it. Now coming to reaction center. Reaction center, in reaction center we have chlorophyll A and associated protein. In reaction center, chlorophyll B will not be present. No, not at all. Chlorophyll B will not be present here. Only chlorophyll A will be present here and associated protein. So chlorophyll A is consist of reaction center is consist of chlorophyll A and associated proteins. Associated proteins are nothing but our photosystems. Okay, PS1 and PS2. Reaction center we have chlorophyll A and PS1 and PS2. Photosystems, I will discuss about photosystem in my next video. So electron reaction center we have chlorophyll A and photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. They will absorb they will receive the light energy from the antenna pigment. So the function of antenna pigment is to receive the light and transfer it to the reaction center, where reaction center is has chlorophyll A and photosystem 1 and 2, where chlorophyll A will catch the light and they will transfer into photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, or photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, and from there chlorophyll will release one electron and that electron will be received by the electron acceptor. Electron acceptors are nothing but our cytochrome B6 complex, plastotonin, plastocyanin, all those things, where cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation occurs. Cyclics and non-cyclic photosynthesis, this happens in photosystem 1 and photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 only, where they receive the electron, in reaction center, when they receive the light energy, they got excited and they release the electron from the chlorophyll, and they will transfer the light from electron acceptor to the electron acceptor, cytochrome B6 complex or plastocyanin, and it will continue in the cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So the main motive is in light harvesting complex is to receive the light and converting into a light energy by the carotenoid, xanthophylls and chlorophyll B or chlorophyll A by the antenna pigments, and that light energy is need to transfer to the reaction center, where chlorophyll A and associated proteins like photosystem 1 and 2 is present. They will receive the light energy and their chlorophyll will get excited. They will release the electron, and in photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, where electron acceptor is present, and their cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation will happen. In cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation, their ATP and NADPH will be generated or produced, and that will go for Calvin cycle, and there our glucose of the main product of photosynthesis will be produced. Okay, and the additional information here I am giving one, that photosystem 1 in reaction center we have photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. Like photosystem 1 it absorbs 700 nanometer light, and photosystem 2 it absorbs 680 nanometer light. And why they only absorb 618 700 nanometer light? It is about all the photo spectrum of the light for photosynthesis, which I have discussed already in my first lecture video. That in description link is there, you can see it. Okay, thank you guys for watching my video. Please like and share my video, and don't forget to subscribe. And also please do comment if you need any additional information or doubt. You can ask me, like in description my Gmail will be there. Like you can ask me any question anytime if you have any doubt. Okay, thank you.